Hello, everybody. Welcome. There we go. Just checking. Hi, everybody. Welcome again. We will just wait a few minutes again just for everyone to jump on before we officially start. Just if you can hear, if you can let me know. I see you're all saying hello. Send a wave in that bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Morning, Donna. Perfect. Seems to all be going well. Everyone's waving. Alrighty. Seems all good. So I will go ahead and get started. Thank you again for joining us on our Visit Anchorage Deeper Dive webinar. Those of you who joined us for the first one, thank you. And this will give you a bit more insight build on to what Tia spoke about on the last time. And again, we're grateful that you can join us over this challenging time, and thank you for your time. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Lara. I'm your in-market rep here in Australia and New Zealand for Visit Anchorage, and I'm joined today again by Tia from our head office in Anchorage. Again, this is a great experience for you to extend your knowledge so that you're back in action selling holiday experiences for your clients. I have been to Anchorage as well. As I said before, I've seen the amazing city. I've seen these little crazy dogs and moose running around, experienced the Northern Lights. So again, we're here to help you build itineraries and be that connection between you and your client. If you have any questions along the way, please just type these in the comment box and we'll answer if we can, or at the end, if there's something that we didn't catch, we can grab it at the end as well. Also to let you know that if you're part of the Sell Your Way incentive today, you will get an extra point for watching this webinar. If you haven't registered, you can still do so, and we will follow up with those details when we are done. Again, the best way to listen, we do recommend, is with some earphones. That seems to help with some volume and sound. If you have any issues along the way, also just at the bottom of your screen, there's a little refresh button. If there are any little glitches with some volume or hearing stuff. So I will now go into some questions before we start today, just to see how you guys sell Anchorage. So the first question is, what season would you recommend for your clients to travel to Anchorage? So you can tick all three or just one or all four. So we have summer, we have winter, we have all year or not too sure. And the second question we have is, why are your clients interested in traveling to Anchorage? Is it for wildlife, for cruising, for the Northern Lights, to do a train trip, or other? So if you guys can answer those questions on your screen, just click them through and then hit the submit button. There's a few more people to go. That'll be great. Couple of more to just click and submit. That'll be good if you can. Alrighty, so I will now hand over to Tia Fraley, who is based in our Anchorage head office, and will guide you through this deeper dive presentation on Anchorage. Thank you, Tia.
Laura, thank you so much. So, yes, thanks for having me back, and I hope you guys were able to join me the last time we talked about Anchorage. We kind of focused on Anchorage itself and how many adventures there are just to see and do in this beautiful city that I live in. So again, my name is Tia Fraley, and I think I take over, let's see, I got to make sure I take over the PowerPoint. Right like that. Okay, perfect. I do have control. Again, so we really kind of dove into what Anchorage has to offer for your clients when they come here. And today we're going to now use Anchorage as kind of like that hub and spoke and travel a little bit further out from Anchorage, but still using us as a home base. So again, I want to just let you know what Visit Anchorage does. We are the destination marketing organization for South Central Alaska, and that is what we focus on. And we love travel advisors, and we truly appreciate what you do and how you sell Alaska. And we are that matchmaker for you here in South Central Alaska. So if you have any questions on, where to stay, what to eat, just even itinerary ideas, or you need photos or videos, reach out to us at Visit Anchorage and let us help. So who am I to tell you about this? Well, again, my name is Tia Fraley. I am the tourism sales manager here at Visit Anchorage, and I am a lifelong Alaskan. So I do have the privilege of talking about my home state, and I've been with Visit Anchorage for now 7 years. I just hit 7 years in April. So I always say I have the best job now because I've worked in the tourism industry my entire life, and I've sold Alaska. I've been in your shoes. My mom was a travel agent and then worked for the airline. So I understand how hard it can be on the sales side. So now to be on the marketing side and to talk about such a great state, I am very privileged to have this job that I do. And again, I'm kind of addicted to reindeer hot dogs, as you can see here, and the umbrellas and on 4th Avenue where I work are now starting to open up as we are in phase 3 here of our maintenance phase of reopening. There's 4 stages, so we're very close. And of course, I love to fish. I love all year-round activities here. And of course, when I eat those reindeer hot dogs, I love to wash them down with a craft beer. So hopefully there's some craft beer lovers out there, and I can tell you some of the great ones we have here in Anchorage. So with that, I'm going to ask Bailey to show a quick video. It's just Anchorage will wait for your clients to return, and knowing that is probably going to be more in 2021 than it is for 2020. That's what we're going to focus on today, is just kind of really focusing on those itineraries for 2021. But enjoy this quick little video. Oh, excellent. So that is our quick little video. If you do want to share that on social media, please do so. You can find that on YouTube, and I'm sure Laura, they already shared it right there in that chat. So make sure to use that video any way you want. And I love that video because it talks about, the wildlife, we'll be waiting, the wild salmon, the longer days. And that's absolutely what is happening here right now in Anchorage. All the baby animals are being born. So ton of moose and bears being posted on social media, and we're seeing them even in our backyards being born. My mom just had one this weekend, a baby born in her backyard, so it's super cool. The longer days, let's see, our sunrise today was at 4:29 a.m. and it will set tonight at 11:23 p.m. So we're really starting to get those longer days heading up to summer solstice, which is June 21st. And then, of course, the wild salmon. I actually was on the river yesterday fishing for one of these wild king salmons. There's 4 of us that went. We caught 2. One we had to release because there is a limit in a certain type that you can keep. But we did catch one, which was about 32 inches long, and I think it weighed about 30 pounds. So not bad. So our salmon are definitely back in our rivers here. So, but real quick, I want to point out our training. If you go to our website here, you can see on top here, anchorage.net/travel-trade/training. So again, if you just go to anchorage.net, there's a tab that's for travel trade, and then you hit our training. So we just put it out on a new platform. So some of you guys might be knowledgeable with it. If you've used Travel Uni, it's a Travel Uni platform, so you might have taken it with our state or other destinations. So if you've registered for it before on Travel Uni, right now we are having a few issues with that because it's not letting you in to take our Anchorage one, so we are fixing that. If you've never been on Travel Uni and you sign up, you have no problem, except for right now you have to choose the United States as your country instead of Australia or New Zealand. We will fix that, but if you choose the United States, it will let you in and let you take our Anchorage Wild Expert training. So please do that. And then if you have tried to log on, please give us a little time. We are working with the platform to make sure it's open to you guys in Australia, in New Zealand, because you guys are a very important client for Alaska. Okay, so with that, I also mentioned that we're going to focus on Anchorage and the big city and using this as a home base. So this is a great place for if your clients want to just unpack for, say, 4 nights, 5 nights, and just stay in the city, because as we've learned, Anchorage is the largest city that we have here. We call ourselves kind of the cultural soul of Alaska and South Central, and we're located right between Cook Inlet on the water, and then you see the Chugach mountain range right behind us. So we're just a really great place to have your clients come and unpack and then do all these great adventures. So last webinar we talked about just in and around Anchorage, remember we have tours such as the Anchorage Trolley for city tours, our Anchorage Museum, we have the Alaska Native Heritage Center, we have Alaska Zoo to come see some of the wildlife. They just got a little baby moose in there too. So just lots of activity just happening in the downtown or midtown of Anchorage. But we're going to focus on a couple things that take you a little bit longer to do. So maybe your clients have 4 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours to go on these adventures. And our first member that we're going to kind of highlight and has been in the Australia, New Zealand market is Alaska Photo Treks. They are up and running, but they have amazing different tours that they offer. But their day treks is what I like to talk about today. So the day trek, which is the most popular one, is his sunset photo safari. And you don't have to be a photographer to go out with Carl. It's from amateurs with iPhones to those that have the fancy equipment. And you're just out there capturing just the beauty in and around Anchorage. So you're looking for the moose, you're looking for, the rivers and the creeks that flow through here, and the flora and fauna and the mountains. And then of course the seaplanes, because we are one of the busiest seaplanes airports in the world. So it's a really great way to kind of capture some amazing memories here, either on your iPhone or great camera with Alaska Photo Treks. And his tour is about 4 hours long that you can include. And then you just get these really cool photos that they can bring home with them. And like I mentioned, float planes, and us being the busiest float plane airport in the world, we just don't have a vast array of road systems here. So seeing Alaska by air is truly unforgettable. Not only if your clients just have, like, say, an hour and a half and do the wildlife and glacier flight scene that over, such as this photo here, where you fly over Anchorage and then you go into the Chugach Range and you're looking for the animals, and then you fly over to Knik Glacier and go right next to it, and then looking then back into our valley of Matanuska Glacier, and then coming back in to Anchorage. Or if they have a little bit longer time, or maybe they only have they don't have a day to go to Denali and they want to see it, you can actually go to Denali in a day by float plane. That is the only way you can do Denali in a day. We do get asked this all the time, but look at these rugged mountains that you can see. This will be about a 3-hour flight scene tour from Anchorage, but you really get into the depth of that beautiful mountain. And as we know, Mount Denali is the largest peak in North America. So he really is magnificent. But I'm going to show this map of Anchorage real quick. That purple shaded area, that's South Central. So again, that is the area that I'm really focused on today. But it's the national park. So what we are hearing as people are starting to reschedule their travel is looking for more space and more national parks and state parks. And Alaska is one of the best places for that. We have actually 8 national parks here in Alaska, and 5 of them that you can go to from Anchorage in a day. So like I mentioned, you can fly up to Denali National Park in a day, or you can fly over. So that flying up to Denali is going to be about 3 hours, or you can fly over to the southwest section of Alaska and get into Katmai National Park or Lake Clark National Park. So these are the 2 parks that are known for their bear viewing and fishing. So if you do have clients that want to really go out into bear country, this will be a full day trip that they would fly out with Russ Fly-In Service over to Katmai. But Katmai is going to be open only in late June and July. That is the very iconic catching the fish from the Brook Falls, where Lake Clark has a little bit longer season. There's two parts of Lake Clark. So one part is open only, again, from late June, but they go all the way till mid-September. And that is where you fly into a glacier-fed lake, and you take a pontoon and you go on the lake and actually watch the bears fish in the lake itself in that area. Or there's the other part of Lake Clark, which is kind of the southern part of it, and it's Chinitna Bay, and that is actually open May through September. So that's the longest area that you can, or region that you can see the bears, because they can eat the sedge grass, which is very protein rich, and they dig for clams, and then they're waiting for a late run of the salmon there. So again, depending on what month your clients are coming here, you can go see the bears in either Katmai National Park or Lake Clark National Park. And again, those are full day adventures from Anchorage. The other one I'm going to quickly just mention is over to the right here is Wrangell St. Alliance. That is our largest national park here in the United States, not only in Alaska, but of all of the United States. It is over 11 million acres. So if you really want to go and spend the day and learn about the history of gold mining and glaciers, they have a glacier as large as the state of Rhode Island there. So very glacier rich. The mountains there, they have 4 mountain ranges that kind of all come together there in Wrangell St. Alliance. So another amazing national park to visit. And our 5th one I'm going to talk about a little bit later because you don't have to fly there. It is Kenai National Park. So again, 5 national parks that your clients can visit from Anchorage. Now so now you can fly out to some of these great destinations, but what about taking the Alaska Railroad, the iconic blue and gold train that we have here? So from Anchorage, we have 3 Anchorage departures daily. So we're going to explore those a little bit today. So our first one we're going to explore is the Glacier Discovery Train. So you can see that you leave from Anchorage and you'll go to the towns of Girdwood, Portage, Whittier, then over to Spencer Glacier and Grandview, and then back to Anchorage. So you see that daily departure from Anchorage. This is going to be every day at 9:45 a.m. So they'd get up, and whether your clients want to go to spend the day in Girdwood, or they want to go out to Whittier, or Portage, or Spencer Glacier, or Grandview, they can do they have to pick what spot they want to go to, and you can see where they drop off and then when they come back and pick up. So a full day, they'd leave again at 9:45 a.m. and arrive back later in Anchorage at 9:15 p.m. So what can you do in some of these different areas? Well, if you get off in Girdwood, your clients can go experience Alyesk Resort, or they can do all the different other outdoor adventures they have. So Alyesk Resort is our big year-round resort here in Alaska, and they have a tram that leaves right from the side of the hotel that takes you right up to the top. And so then you're going up to the top of Mount Alyeska, and then you get the beautiful views of the Turnagain Arm. You're looking for wildlife. You can actually hike around. There's 7 different glaciers, hanging glaciers that you can see from there. There's a great boar Thai deli. You can go there for lunch. There's a 7 glacier fine dining restaurant up there too. And again, you're just right in the heart of the Chugach Mountains, so lots of hiking, biking trails can be done there for the day. There's even dog sledding there, or helicopter flight seeing that you can land on a glacier. So lots of options in Girdwood. If they opt to go on to Portage or Whittier, this is where they can take a day boat cruise up to some glaciers. So Whittier is home of Prince William Sound, which is the home of this Phillips Cruises and Tours, which their tour is called 26 Glacier Cruise, because you literally see 26 different glaciers. So you can sit back and let the captain do all the driving. And then as you can see these little icebergs and ice chunks in the water, they'll actually fish one of those up. And then as you cruise back into the port, they'll make glacier margaritas. So a little something special that they have on their boats. And then if your clients are a little more active, they can go into Spencer Glacier. So Spencer Glacier stop is only accessible by the Alaska Railroad. That's the only way to get in. And this is where now you're going to put your clients in a raft or a kayak, and they can actually go right up to be a little more active on the lake and get up to Spencer Glacier, or they can do a combo of rafting and hiking on a glacier here too. So again, that is Spencer Glacier. And then Grandview at the end of that train is just, maybe you have clients that They want to get off. It's maybe a family where the grandparents don't want to do rafting or kayaking, where their kids and grandkids do. They can drop them off at Spencer Glacier. They go to Grandview. Grandview is the Placer Valley river area, so it's a beautiful scenic little slow roll on the train that they get to go and enjoy, and then they'll come back and pick up all those family members that went out on a venture on Spencer Glacier and then continue on back to Anchorage. So again, a full day of different activities that they can choose on the Glacier Discovery train, or we call the Disco train. Okay, the other train that departs daily from Anchorage that also heads south is called the Coastal Classic train. So this again is going to be heading south, but this doesn't make as many stops, but it is another trip that your clients can do in a day. So they'd leave Anchorage, right here it shows you at 6:45 a.m., and then they would return, if they're returning back to Anchorage, at 10:15. But maybe you had clients that got off in Girdwood and stayed at Alyeska Resort that I just mentioned, so no problem. So they took the Disco train and got off in Girdwood the day before. Now they're going to pick up the Coastal Classic in Girdwood and continue on to Seward. So they would pick up in Girdwood at 8:05 a.m. and continue into Seward at 11:05. And then in Seward is it's the harbor town of, now we're getting into that Kenai Fjords National Park that I mentioned. So Seward has glacier and wildlife cruises that you can take out of Seward. Also, this is where the Seward Sea Life Center is located. I don't know if anyone has been watching the Nat Geo Alaska Animal Rescue. They are part of it. So I think there's a little otter that's on there. They saved a beluga whale last year, but they are part of that program. And also the Alaska Wildlife Conservation Center out of Portage is also part of that program. So if you are big fans of that, stay tuned. That's part of our area. And then also in Seward, it is perfectly timed up with another one of our members called Major Marine Tours. Oh, I forgot to point out these cute otters real quick. So again, going into Kenai Fjords National Park, you're really focused on whales, glaciers, sea otters, sea lions, birds. And here's a cute little group of otters. And when you get a group of otters together, they are called, if anyone knows, they're called a raft. So that's a raft of otters right there. And you can always go, ah, on those otters. And so now to feature the member I was just talking about, which is Major Marine Tours. They just built this new catamaran. It's called the Kenai Fjords 360, the beautiful boat. So you take that Alaska Railroad, they drop you off at around 11 a.m. And then you go out on a 6-hour wildlife and glacier cruise, and it's called the Kenai Fjords National Park Cruise. And then on board, they do a beautiful menu of, it's surf and turf. So it's going to be your Alaska salmon along with prime rib. And then this boat comes back conveniently at 5 p.m. to catch that 6 o'clock train that's going to now take you back to Anchorage, and your clients will be back by 10. So a beautiful package of Alaska Railroad along with Major Marine Tour, and to really get out into another national park from Anchorage. Okay, the last of these 3 trains that leaves from Anchorage on a daily basis is the Denali Star. So those last 2 were heading south. Now we're going to head north. This is also the way to Denali National Park and to Fairbanks. So you can see here's Anchorage down here. We're leaving Anchorage, and if we're talking about day trips from Anchorage and returning back to Anchorage, we're going to go as far as Talkeetna and back. And then if your clients do want to continue on to Denali National Park and Fairbanks, this is that same train. So this daily departure is at 8:15 from Anchorage. At the same time from Fairbanks, they have another train heading towards Anchorage. So the train that leaves Anchorage will end up in Fairbanks, and the train from Fairbanks will end up in Anchorage. And they both have the exact same time frame for departing and arriving. So, but we're going to focus on Anchorage, and the first stop would be Wasilla. Wasilla in what is called the Mat-Su Valley. If your clients wanted to get off there, they can go and explore. This is our agriculture part of South Central Alaska. So this is where a lot of our fruits and vegetables come from. So maybe they want to get off and do a farm tour where they can go and visit 3 different farms and do a farm to table type lunch. Or this is where our Alaska State Fair is too. So if you have any clients that are here at the end of August, beginning of September, in Palmer, Alaska is where our Alaska State Fair is. Plus, we also have a muskox farm, a reindeer farm, and a lot of really fun activities that you can do in the Matsu Valley. Or they can continue on to Talkeetna. The town of Talkeetna is one of my favorite towns here in Alaska. It's a very quaint little town. It's the mayor is a cat. The cat happens to be named Denali. It was Stubbs. Stubbs was the mayor for almost 20 years. But unfortunately, he has passed away and it's on to Denali, which is somehow in the same bloodline as Stubbs. So it's keeping in the family is the mayor, but they're really known for their views of Denali in Talkeetna. So Mount Denali and the Alaska Range just is on a beautiful day, clear day, is stunning from here. It's right where three rivers meet and you get the views of the mountain. But not only that is all the different adventures that you can do. This is another great place where you can fly with K2 Aviation and go up to the face of Mount Denali again and land on a glacier. This is also jet boat safari. There's zip lining. There's rafting and hiking and fishing. So again, just a plentiful of activities. And we do have a company called Salmonberry Tours, which is a local tour operator. And they have a tour where you take the train in the morning and then you can pick your adventure. You have about 5 hours in Denali, and then they take their Sprinter van and bring you back to Anchorage, is one option. Or you can book it all on Alaska Railroad, where the Alaska Railroad will drop you off, and that train that was coming from Fairbanks will pick you up that night. And again, your clients can pick their own adventure, and that'd be round trip on the train. Or, like I mentioned, I'm a big craft beer fan, so you can also do a tour called Hop on the Rails. So it's with Big Swig Tours. And so again, you take the train up to Denali. Your hoperator will meet you in Talkeetna, which is home of our second largest brewery in Alaska. You get to taste, which is called Denali Brewing Company. So you start there and you work your way back to Anchorage and hit, I believe it's 4 other breweries, and it includes lunch. So a super fun way to kind of make your way back or drink your way back to Anchorage, and that's with Big Swig Tours. And like I mentioned, if you do have clients that want to actually go and overnight in Denali National Park, which I don't blame them if they want to keep on going and actually get into another national park, because you do need to at least overnight there for 2 nights if you want to get into the park and go see what we call the Big Five. So really focus on that wildlife. So getting in there to see, the grizzly bears, the wolf, the moose, the caribou, the Dall sheep. And again, just to say you've been into the national park, that Alaska Railroad can continue on and take you there. So very incredibly beautiful in our national parks that we have in and around the Anchorage area. And now my third little member shout out I want to give is to Alaska Tour and Travel. If you're not familiar with them, they have been serving Anchorage for over 25 years, locally owned, operated, but they can put all these package tours together. So everything I've talked about, they can put together. They can put train components together, motor coach components, cruise transfers. A real big thing that they've really changed to is the self-drives, which I know a lot of Aussies and Kiwis love to maybe do a self-drive tour. They do escorted vacation packages. They get into all these different cruises. They book hotels. But what's important to you, as you can see, they offer commission. They understand they work with travel trade, and they can put all that wish list of your clients together and give you commission on top of that. So a really great company, and you can find them at alaskatravel.com and again /travel trade to learn more about them. So with that, I want to say, please stay connected. I appreciate your time with me today to kind of do a little deeper dive. Hopefully you've learned how to use FlightCN or the Alaska Railroad or maybe local tour operators to kind of do these really cool, amazing day adventures from here. And then just to let you know what's happening here, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, those are definitely the sources that keep us all connected on what's happening. And our Anchorage Wild Expert pages are for you in the travel trade to know what's happening for your clients. So with that, I'm going to send it back to Laura, and she has some questions for you.
Thank you, Tia. That was really, really awesome. And really good, I hope, for you agents to know that Anchorage is definitely more than a 2-night destination. As you can see, there's so much more to see in the area. So hopefully that gave you a little bit more knowledge on what you can see. So we'll run into the trivia questions. If you guys could answer those, please, that are on your screen at the moment. Question number 1, how many national parks can you visit as day trips from Anchorage? Is it 2, 4, or 5? Question number 2, the Coastal Classic train includes stops at what 3 cities? Anchorage, Auckland, and Adelaide, Anchorage, Girdwood, and Seward, or Anchorage, Talkeetna, and Denali. And question number 3, take our Visit Anchorage online training to become certified as a what? An Anchorage wildlife expert, a good on your mate, or a wild about Anchorage professional? So if you guys can click on the correct answers for those, thank you, Tia. And just hit submit at the bottom. And if you have any questions at the moment, if you want to type those in the little box, and myself or Tia should be able to answer those for you. And also a reminder that any of those packages or any of the things that you saw today can also be booked through your wholesaler locally. So if you have any questions, you can reach out to them. Or if you're just looking for some itinerary ideas, then also please reach out to myself or Tia. So any questions? A couple of more people to answer any questions. And yeah, shout out if you have any questions. Thank you, guys. Alrighty. Doesn't seem to be any questions. All right. So thanks again for joining us and have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.
Hope to see you in Anchorage.